You meet someone who actually loves you, really loves you. Not the chaotic, uncertain kind of love you're used to chasing, the calm kind. The kind that shows up on time, remembers what you said last week, doesn't play games. And instead of relaxing into it, some part of you starts to pull away. You start finding things wrong with them, small things, the way they chew, the way they text haha instead of LOL. You start picking fights over nothing. You get distant right when they get close. You catch yourself thinking, this is too good to be true. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you start looking for the exit. Not because you don't want love, but because some part of you doesn't believe you're allowed to keep it. Today we're going to talk about why that happens. And more importantly, how to stop doing it before it costs you something real. Let's start with a scene you might recognize. You're lying in bed next to someone who just told you they love you. And instead of feeling warm, you feel unsettled, almost suspicious, like you're waiting for the moment it falls apart. So instead of waiting for it to happen to you, some part of your brain decides to make it happen on your terms. If you're going to lose this anyway, better to lose it now, on your schedule, before it really matters. That's not weakness. That's not you being broken. That's a survival strategy your mind built a long time ago. And it's still running, even though the danger it was built for is gone. Here's the simple version of what's happening. If you grew up in an environment where love was unpredictable, where affection came with conditions, or disappeared without warning, or had to be earned through performance, your nervous system learned an important lesson. Comfort is not safe. Stability is not safe. Because in your experience, stability was usually the calm right before something bad happened. So your brain built a rule. If things feel too good, something is wrong. Not because you're pessimistic, because pattern recognition kept you safe once. A parent who was warm one day and cold the next. A household where you had to read the room before you could relax. A relationship where being too much got you punished, so you learned to shrink. Or where being ignored taught you that closeness always comes with a catch. Your brain isn't trying to sabotage your happiness. It's trying to protect you from a version of pain it already knows. The problem is, it's protecting you from your past while standing in the middle of your present. Now here's where it gets deeper. Self-sabotage in relationships rarely looks like sabotage while it's happening. It looks like standards. It looks like just being honest. It looks like I'm not being needy, I'm being independent. You don't consciously think, I am going to destroy this good thing. You think, something feels off, and you trust that feeling, because that feeling has kept you safe before. But here's the distinction almost no one makes. There's a difference between intuition and familiarity. Intuition is your body picking up on real danger in the present moment. Familiarity is your body recognizing an old pattern and mistaking it for danger, even when nothing dangerous is actually happening. The tragedy is, these two feel identical from the inside. That tight, uneasy sensation in your chest doesn't come labeled. It just says, something's wrong, and it's up to you to figure out whether it's talking about right now or about something that happened 15 years ago. Let's make this real with a few patterns you might see in yourself. The first is the waiting for the catch pattern. Things are going well, and instead of enjoying it, you spend your energy scanning for what's about to go wrong. You're not present in the good moment. You're bracing for the bad one. And because you're bracing instead of connecting, you slowly create distance. Then, when the distance causes friction, you tell yourself, see, I knew this would fall apart, not realizing you built the very distance you probed.
The second is the testing pattern. You pick fights, create problems, or pull back, not because you're upset, but almost like you're checking, will they leave? Will they stay if I make this hard? It's an unconscious way of controlling when and how the loss happens because waiting passively for it feels unbearable. The third is the unworthiness pattern. This one is quieter. It doesn't look like conflict. It looks like discomfort. You feel physically uneasy receiving love, receiving compliments, receiving consistency. Some part of you believes you haven't earned it yet, or that you're fundamentally not the kind of person good things happen to. So you unconsciously create situations that confirm that belief because a familiar, painful story feels safer than an unfamiliar, good one. Here's the real cost of all this, and it's important to say clearly, this pattern doesn't just risk losing relationships. It risks you never finding out what a stable, safe relationship actually feels like. because you keep leaving before you get the chance to find out. So what do you actually do about it? The first step is naming the feeling accurately in real time. When that uneasy feeling shows up, instead of immediately acting on it, pause and ask yourself one question. Is this about something happening right now, or does this feel like something old? That single question creates a gap between the feeling and the reaction, and that gap is where change actually happens. The second step is tolerating good feelings on purpose. This sounds strange, but if you're not used to stability, calm can feel like a threat your body needs to fix. Practice sitting in comfort without immediately looking for what's wrong. Let a good moment be exactly what it is, without needing to interrogate it. The third step is communicating the pattern instead of acting it out. Instead of picking a fight to test someone, try saying the harder, more honest thing. I'm noticing I want to pull away right now, and I think it's an old habit, not about you. That single sentence does more for a relationship than months of unconscious testing ever could. And the fourth step, the one people skip, is grieving the environment that taught you this in the first place. You can't fully let go of a survival strategy until you acknowledge that it made sense. You weren't wrong to protect yourself. You were a person adapting to conditions that required protection. The goal now isn't to blame yourself for the pattern, it's to recognize you no longer need it the way you used to. Here's the twist, though, the part most people miss. Self-sabotage isn't proof that you're incapable of love. It's proof that you experienced love as dangerous at some point, and you survived by adapting. The very intelligence that pulled you away from good things is the same intelligence that can learn to let them in. Once it's given accurate, current information instead of old warnings. You are not destined to keep doing this. You are not too damaged for stability. You are running a program that was written for a different time in your life, and programs can be rewritten, slowly, deliberately, one honest moment at a time. So if you recognized yourself in this video, if you've ever pulled away from something good just when it started to feel real, that's not a life sentence. That's information. And now that you can see the pattern, you get to choose differently the next time it shows up. The good thing you're afraid of isn't going anywhere, but you have to be willing to stay long enough to find that out.